In the last lecture, we had seen things relating to legal impact and the legal importance that is required in managing health and safety. We had seen all the national laws and its supporting laws, and we had also now came to an understanding that in managing health and safety, the three pillars: moral, financial, and legal. Legal has its very importance, and that stands with all the laws, the enforcement actions, the enforcement authorities, and by doing and following all these things like moral, financial, and legal, today we see that there is a good practice, a health and safety practice throughout the whole world. There are improvements going on, and slowly development happens, and that leads to a good health and safety practice in the industries and everywhere in the workplace. We had seen in the past a lot of accidents and disasters happened, industrial disasters that were very worse. By following this, there will be a good health and safety culture throughout everywhere. So we shall look to forward. See, to understand all this, to understand all this, we shall also see the accident, like how the impact happens, or like what are the like outcomes of that, and how like dangers are this. So we should have to see it live, and we will see some like documentaries, we will see some like short clips of that particular like accidents. There are a lot of web series and movies that comes relating to the real incidents that happens in the industries, workplaces, and everything. So we will see three of it. One is the Bhopal gas tragedy of Union Carbide. Second, we will see of the Chernobyl, and then we will see the Deepwater Horizon that has happened. So Chernobyl nuclear disaster, the Deepwater Horizon, oil spill, and everything. So we shall now look into it and how is the like impact of that particular accidents that happen. Before that, this the enforcement agencies take enforcement action to ensure duty holders to. The options are given over here. So you can like think and like think and write your answers. Second, reducing the likelihood of fines and personal injury claims are dash reasons to manage safety. So these questions are from the past lectures that we have taken. So you have a proper idea regarding that. So you can definitely know the answers. Moving to next question. So now we discuss over here, select the correct three types of enforcement by health and safety regulating agencies. So there is option A, B, C, D, E. You can choose the options from this. Fourth, dash has a legal duty under the HASAW, that is Health and Safety Act Workers, HASAW Act 1974 to ensure that health, safety, and welfare at work of all employees so far as is reasonably practicable. You can choose the answer from this given options. Okay. So now we will move to the forward. So as I said you, we shall just see the accidents, how it has happened, and like what are the results. We had seen moral, financial, legal concepts. So we shall see in the court structure also how the legal proceedings happens in the court, how the trials also happen. We see like the losses that has happened, that has recurred, life has been lost, the moral obligations and everything, the financial impact that has caused, and also the, like as I said you, the legal perspective, what has happened, prosecution, enforcement agencies, and all these things. So we shall look into the video.
Why India?
We came here to help build better farmers.
That's a tough market to corner.
India was open for business, and I wanted carbide at the heart of the revolution.
कार्बाइड में काम किया है।
यूनिफॉर्म में बहुत अच्छे लग रहे हो।
My name is Warren Anderson. Remember, we're not just Carbide, we are Union Carbide, united in our efforts to build a better future for everyone.
Welcome to Bhopal. Free guide. What kind of things do you write?
Lifestyle.
Lifestyle, okay. You want to write a real story?
We may need to implement some structural changes.
This could have serious implications.
I'm willing to take that risk. What is our official line?
As long as we are learning from our mistakes, we are safe.
Union Carbide stores 40 tons of poison in the heart of Bhopal.
One drop of your stuff killed her husband.
We set the highest safety standards in the industry.
Link the tanks. Push them hard.
Is that a good safety precaution?
Your factory is choking this town.
But this factory feeds this town. Tell me something. You think carbide should stay here in Bhopal?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I can sleep tonight.
So this is like a movie, Bhopal, a prayer for rain, that is its name. And in that, regarding the real incidents, accident that has happened, everything is mentioned like properly. So you can look into that, and you will learn a lot of things, like how industries work, uh, how the organization works, how enforcement agencies are there, how political, geopolitical, everything affects the industries, how the workers also, how their lifestyle is, and financial impact, profit cutting, like a profit and cost cutting, and all these things. So you understand a lot of things from that, and you get a like uh, one sort of like industrial exposure, even though if you have not visited the industries and not seen like how the working happens over there. So you get like an inside view of that, how the working of industries happens. So each and everything is, you get a basic idea of that. So this was regarding that. Now same regarding Bhopal gas tragedy. Here what has happened is, there was a railway person, he was a deputy station master. His name was Gulam Dastangir. So what happened was, during this like a toxic gas that was spread in the entire Bhopal, this station master has from the station, there was a passenger train, so he had saved like around thousands of people, like by carrying them and going at like distance, and have saved that people. And also he has made sure that no trains enter Bhopal station in that toxic gas exposed area. So he had done such a thing that has saved a lot of people, and for that also that there came the series web series that is known as the Railwaymen. So in that also everything is like shown of the that particular person, and also the working of Indian Railways, that support and aid that was provided at that particular disaster and emergency period when people were unable to come to that time. See, the air is like completely in a toxic gas, so providing support at the immediate is like a difficult time. Sorry, is like a difficult thing at that time. So still they had managed to do that. So it was a great achievement. And we know Indian Railways, like, it is one of the biggest employer in India. 1.2 million employees are working. So their commitment at that particular time was very appreciable. And this particular man, see, he, by saving others' life, he was also exposed to this particular chemical, toxic gas, MIC, and he survived. But he was facing this like toxic gas issue for a long time, and at 2003 he also, due to this issue of the toxic gas side effects, he had died. But still he is a hero. He shall be remembered in this, because times like this when disaster happens, this particular action of a particular person is like what we should have to study in health and safety to have a commitment in saving others life. So we shall see that.
हमारे काम में ध्यान बट नहीं सकता क्योंकि दोबारा ध्यान से देखने का मौका नहीं मिलता।
मेरा नाम इमाद रियाज है।
पहला दिन है आज तेरा। रेलवेज में नौकरी ऐसे मिल जाती है क्या किसी को?
बट अगर मांगेगा ना तो मांगता ही रह जाए, छीन ना सीख।
What does this gas do?
It's not lethal, sir. That's the company line.
किसी को एक झटके में मार सकती, किसी को कुछ घंटों में सर, सांस ली और काम तमाम। इसकी कोई दवा नहीं।
दवा नहीं तो इतने लोगों को बचाएंगे कैसे हम लोग?
जल्द से जल्द सबको यहाँ से निकालना होगा।
वरना ये भोपाल जंक्शन कब्रिस्तान बन जाएगा।
रति पांडे बोल रहा हूँ, जीएम सेंट्रल रेलवे। इस वक्त भोपाल जंक्शन रेलवे के नक्शे से गायब हो चुका है। पिछले 2 घंटे से बिल्कुल कांटेक्ट नहीं हो पा रहा है।
हेलो, कोई सुन पा रहा है?
हेलो, हम उनका इलाज तो नहीं कर सकते, उनको वहाँ से निकाल तो सकते हैं।
हवा में जहर है, कोई बाढ़ या भूकंप नहीं आया है कि जाके लोगों को बचा के ले आएगी।
भोपाल वालों को अकेले नहीं छोड़ पाऊंगा। ऐसे में दूसरों की मदद करने कोई मूर्ख ही जाएगा, या फिर कोई अपना।
ये लोग है ना, ये हमारी जिम्मेदारी है।
चिंता ना करिए सर, मैं कहीं नहीं जा रहा।
क्या हम आप पे भरोसा कर सकते हैं कांस्टेबल?
इस वर्दी से ज्यादा शख्स पे सर।
गोरखपुर एक्सप्रेस को रोको, हजारों लोग अपनी मौत की तरफ जा रहे हैं।
मुझे विश्वास रखो।
रब रखा।
इन लोगों को सब कुछ पता था 2 साल से, फिर भी सर ने कुछ नहीं किया।
सच लिखता हूँ ना मियाँ, वो सुनना नहीं किसी को।
और सच तो ये है कि हम न जान लेने वालों को सजा देते हैं और न जान बचाने वालों को शाबाशी।
So now we have seen this, the railwaymen. So this you can see the railwayman. So in this everything is clearly like mentioned. Now next we are going to see of the Chernobyl.
All of the good we did, it doesn't matter. What does matter is that to them, justice was done. See, a just world is a sane world. There was nothing sane about Chernobyl.
I'm pleased to report that the situation in Chernobyl is stable. In terms of radiation, I'm told it's the equivalent of a chest X-ray.
No, Chernobyl is on fire. And every atom of uranium is like a bullet, penetrating everything in its path. Metal, concrete, flesh. Now Chernobyl holds over 3 trillion of these bullets. Some of them will not stop firing for 50,000 years.
Tell me how to put it out.
You are dealing with something that has never occurred on this planet before.
Cut the phone lines. Contain the spread of misinformation.
What will happen to our boys?
The pain is unimaginable. In 3 days to 3 weeks, you're dead.
You can see him, and you cannot touch him. Do you understand?
What happened on the night of the accident?
Asking the right question will get you the truth. There is no truth.
What happened then? What happened after? All of it. All of it. Madness.
See, from this we understand like a basic thing what has happened in Chernobyl. So we can see next. Here see, when the radiation was exposed in the atmosphere, and the people, the authorities, when they were visiting this particular place at that time, so footage is, there was a real footage that when a helicopter was actually doing its work, it had met with an accident, and there were a lot of issues that was happening at that time. Because see, what happens is, when there is radiation and the helicopter was actually flying over there to do its work, so the radiation actually will cause the human body, it will feel like dizziness or vomiting and all this thing it will feel, and they lose their consciousness. And finally this plane had been hit, so there are some real footage of that also, you can see.
We're approaching a power plant.
What have they done? Look, the whole building's been blown open. The core's exposed.
I can't see how you can tell that from here.
For God's sakes. Look at that glow. That's radiation ionizing the air.
Well, if we can't see, we don't know. Get us directly over the building.
Boris,
don't use
we
my
fly
name.
directly over,
I
the
don't
reactor
your
will be
advice.
dead within a week. Dead!
They cannot fly directly over the fire. A minimum of a 10-meter perimeter.
No. They're too close.
Lead 1 is too close. I repeat, they are too close.
Lead 1, do you copy? Lead 1, come in. Copy, Lead 1. Lead 1.
See, regarding Chernobyl, like there are very some horrifying photographs and events that has happened. Some are recorded, some are not been shown. So it is the worst like disaster, nuclear disaster that has happened. Like, there were some cover-ups and all these things happened. So it is very like a horrifying sort of event and disaster that has happened. And from that onwards, the world has improved and had made good practice in the nuclear safety plants. So now next, what is there is like in the court, you can see like how he is explaining like how the reactor exploded and all this we can see.
Dyatlov broke every rule we have. He pushed a reactor to the brink of destruction. He did these things believing there was a failsafe. AZ-5, a simple button to shut it all down. But in the circumstances he created, there wasn't. The shutdown system had a fatal flaw. At 1:23:40, Akimov engages AZ-5. The fully withdrawn control rods begin moving back into the reactor. These rods are made of boron, which reduces reactivity, but not the tips. The tips are made of graphite, which accelerates reactivity.
Why?
Why? For the same reason our reactors do not have containment buildings around them, like those in the West. For the same reason we don't use properly enriched fuel in our cores. For the same reason we are the only nation that builds water-cooled, graphite-moderated reactors with a positive void coefficient. It's cheaper. The first part of the rods that enter the core are the graphite tips, and when they do, the reaction in the core, which had been rising, skyrockets. Every last molecule of liquid water instantly converts to steam, which expands and ruptures a series of fuel rod channels. The control rods in those channels can move no further. The graphite tips are fixed in position, endlessly accelerating the reaction. Chernobyl Reactor 4 is now a nuclear bomb. 1:23:42. Perevoschenko looks down on the enormous steel lid of the reactor and sees the impossible. The control rod and fuel channel caps, which each weigh 350 kilograms, are jumping up and down. He runs to warn the control room, but there's nothing he can do to stop what is coming. 1:23:44. The steam blows more fuel channels apart. We do not know how high the power went. We only know the final reading. Reactor 4, designed to operate at 3,200 megawatts, went beyond 33,000. The pressure inside the core can no longer be held back. At long last, we have arrived. 1:23:45, explosion. In the instant the lid is thrown off the reactor, oxygen rushes in. It combines with hydrogen and superheated graphite. The chain of disaster is now complete. No one in the room that night knew the shutdown button could act as a detonator. They didn't know it because it was kept from them.
Comrade Legasov, you're contradicting your own testimony in Vienna.
My testimony in Vienna was a lie. I lied to the world. I'm not the only one who kept the secrets. There are many.
So, you know how many years of like punishment have they got? Now we shall move to the next, that is Deepwater Horizon.
We a big company, millions of moving parts.
Hey, how you doing, man?
We all work very hard to ensure those moving parts are functioning as a means to very profitable end for all of us.
Have it smooth.
Hey, come close to the computer. Give me those eyes.
No!
That is a genuine dinosaur tooth.
She's gonna flip out.
You're a good man, Mike.
Is there someone at your door?
Are you seeing this?
Everybody off the... Mike, what is that? Is everything okay?
We gotta go right now! I'll call you back.
When the walls caving in, and the world stops.
Hey!
Hear the voice.
Mayday, Mayday. This is Deepwater Horizon. What's wrong?
Me towards the rocks.
Not new, baby.
You gotta get to the lifeboats right now.
My wife's name is Felicia.
And my daughter's Cindy. And I will see them again. Do you understand me?
I was staring in the eye of the
Deepwater Horizon. Now we will see the like explosion scenes and like what led to the faults that has happened.
We gotta go right now!
We got a gas alarm.
Thrusters are over-repping. My thrusters are running away from me. I'm not gonna be able to hold the rig in place.
Calm down.
Is it just me, or just get real bright in there all of a sudden?
Magenta. Magenta alarms. The well is blowing out.
Why?
Mayday, this is Deepwater Horizon. We are no.
What are you doing? Did I ask you to call it Mayday? You don't know the difference between a kick and a goddamn blowout.
Why is the...
You don't know shit.
Why is the monitor out? Mayday, 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 this is Deepwater Horizon.
So we had seen like all the accidents and disasters. So we can feel over here how it affects. And if health and safety is not being practiced, then these are the results or the outcomes that comes. Hence, while we look into the moral, financial and legal perspective, we should have to maintain, and hence by each and every life is saved, the profits of the companies are saved, and also by following the compliances in the legal perspective also, all are safe. So now let's move to the next topic, that is internal information sources. See, we as a health and safety practitioner, it is very important that we should have the proper knowledge of a particular company's safety practices that is to be followed, and to understand that that particular internal documents or internal information sources are required to make good progress, to understand and acknowledge ourselves. The all said documents are required. First is accident records. So there is an accident book or accident record. So whenever an accident happens, not incident, or like whenever an accident happens, so all these things are recorded properly in the book or in the record, in which each and everything is mentioned over there: the date, time, the person that has been involved, what was the cause, what was the reason, and everything is mentioned in that in proper detail. So what happens? The industries record this particular accidents. For example, if an accident has happened in 2018, in 2019, in 2021, 2025. So there could be change in the management, which means there could be change in the like safety officers. The person who was serving for around like 3 years, he has left. Now a new person has come. So by referring these documents, he can understand like what like type of accident is like causing too much, or like is repeating accident. If it could be a construction industry, and if it is like fall of objects, like falling of objects from the height, and falling on a person and like hitting, and thus resulting to major accidents. So he can understand that this is the major accident that is happening over here, and he can like find the reasons and do actions to control all that things. So same like that in different sectors, there are such like accidents that happen. So when these things are being recorded, so we can do better things on that. So this is one internal information sources. And understand one thing, internal information sources are everything from the company itself. This all things we have in our company itself. So accident record book in the company we get it. Second is ill health data or absence reports. Just think if in your industry there are labors and due to unhygiene conditions and everything, there are a lot of dengue cases, and from that there are a lot of people who are absent due to ill health or like this sort of NS1 dengue. They are unable to work, they need rest. So this all comes in ill health data or absence. So we can identify that this dengue cases are arising as because in our workplace there are a lot of like plastics and everything in that water is contaminated, and the eggs are the dengue like condition is being caused over here, dengue, malaria and all these things. And if we take action, like we give no space to like a water being collected in such plastic like dustbins, or it could be any like plastic bottles or any such sort in which water has been carried and is creating a condition for dengue. So we can like clear all these things. So what happens, the dengue cases decreases. So such type of actions we can take depending on what condition is caused over there. If it is a dengue, we can take action like that. If it is like any tuberculosis, we can take actions like that. Okay. And so see, workers health is important. If any such spreading like any viruses or any such cases are there, by taking actions, okay, if just a mask is required, then we can provide that mask and control, make a control over that. We can record these things and we can take action on that. Third is medical records, okay, of the workers, of the staff. We can keep the medical records, and having the medical records, we can understand like what the person has, any health issues, the prehistory and everything. So that can be recorded. We shall have the risk assessment. So risk assessment is like it is like a chart in which we identify the hazards and how can we control it. So that is like a risk assessment. It is a matrix. Then we have the maintenance reports, in which just think in our site we have a lot of vehicles, we have a lot of machineries, we have a lot of cranes and all those things. So when we do the maintenance, we make sure that it is in a good condition. So all such maintenance reports are to be required. There is safety inspections. So safety inspections happen at the workplaces and that is been recorded. These inspections can be used to do a lot of improvements at the site, the inspection reports and everything. So like that, audit and investigation reports is there. It is like an identification. So uh, it is like an investigation that happens in the site, the inspection that happens. From that, we can improve the health and safety practices, and they shows a lot of issues if proper health and safety is not followed, and hence by we can improve from that. Then we have the safety committee minutes. Just think like a safety meeting that happens. There is MOM, which is minutes of meeting. So each and everything discussed in a safety meeting, that is been recorded, documented, and is been delivered and displayed and given to everyone. So they understand like what all thing has happened in the safety meeting. So that becomes the minutes of meeting, MOM. So these are all the internal information sources that we have, that we can find in an industry. In any of the industries that we go, we work, if in a construction industry, this all data is there. Okay. So with this data, it acknowledges us of the present condition and gives us information like what all we should have to do. So this internal information sources are very important. So now we go to the external information sources. Yes, you can see like the accident report book or the accident register book. Then we have the medical records that is to be recorded. the safety committee meetings, the safety inspections audits, and here you can see risk assessment, the matrix over here. And with this matrix, we like identify the amount of risk, the amount of like hazard that will cause, the amount of harm it will cause, and everything is recorded. And how can we control that thing has been identified by this particular assessment. So now, as I said you, the external information sources. So these are the documents that you get externally. So first is said national legislation. National legislation, as we had seen before, like the main safety laws, the like additional laws and everything we had found. Uh, Health and Safety at Work Act 1974 for UK. We had seen the OSH 2020 of India. We had seen Code du Travail of France. So all these main laws we had seen. So every national legislation of the health and safety laws. Okay, so that is an external information sources. If you as a health and safety practitioner is working in Russia, so you know the main health and safety law over there. So you should have to identify all the requirements that is been required for that particular like workplace, that sector, that industry, and you should have to work like that, work on that. Okay, but before you might be working in like India, or you might be working in UAE, or you might be working in Saudi Arabia. So that particular place's law will be different as comparing to there. But as we said, principles, the basic principles will be same. So it's very simple. Like whenever you as a health and safety practitioner is visiting or working in any of the particular country, understand the safety legislation, the national law applicable over there, and that is like always external information sources that you should have to look into the like Wikipedia, from the sources you can check in the internet, and you can like refer that and understand it and make yourself acknowledge to that. Then, as we had seen in the last lecture, the ACOP, that is approved code of practices, we can refer that. That also we get, as we know, externally from the OSHA. We get from the Indian laws, and in the Indian government institutions this has been provided. Also in UK it is the HSE, Health Safety and Executive, we get over there all the approved code of practices. Then we have the standards. If you are confused like uh, how we can make a good level of standardizations in the industries, then we can refer this like the BSI, that is a British Standards Institution, mainly followed in British, in the Britain. Then we have the ISO, that is also known as the International Organization for Standardization. So this is actually been followed internationally, and this is like the standard has been practiced internationally. See, what happens is when you follow ISO, we all might have been found like seen this, that this company is an ISO company, ISO following company. So that means they are following a good like standardization practice over there, and hence by they are like an ISO company. In IS also there are a lot of types, so we will see that later. Then there is a manufacturer's information. So what happens is, if it is a construction industry, a new tower crane comes over there, is installed, so it is like new. Here what happens is, a manufacturer, they gives a particular crane manual, how to operate it, how to follow it safety, like safely how to like use it and everything. So that particular manual which is given from the manufacturer is like a one sort of a manufacturer's information. So to every like machineries, plants and everything, there are like the manufacturer's information. So that should be referred, and in that everything will be mentioned, how to operate it properly, how to like follow safety in that, how to safely operate it, and everything we can get information from that. Then we have the safety publications. Now what is this? See, it could be like a magazine, it could be like a journal, it could be like a vlog and all these things. So what happens is, the health and safety practitioners who are like experienced, who have a great knowledge in the industry, or who have a specialized knowledge or like work experience in an industry, just think if you yourself is working for a industry for around 10-20 years, so you are an expert in that, and especially you have worked in construction industry, so you are a very expert in that. You could share your experiences, and from like the sources, as I said, you journals, magazines, and blogs and everything. So that becomes like a safety publication. uh, so people who are entering new to the industry or need knowledges, need information, so they can refer that safety publications available externally that we can found in the internet websites and everywhere. Then there are international bodies. So for international bodies, which means in the safety, health and safety, there are a lot of international bodies been there. We have seen the ILO, International Labor Organization. So that is also one of them. There are national bodies also. There are some standard bodies also. There are some membership bodies also available, and we get a lot of information, knowledge, and they make a good modern safety practices in which we get a lot of information from that. So that is also an external information source. Then we have the trade unions and charities. So they also are a source of external information sources found in the industries. So yes, we can see BSI, that is a British Standards Institution, ISO, International Organization for Standardization. We have the international safety legislation. You can see ILO, NFPA, that is National Fire Protection Association, HSE of UK, OSHA, ANSI, National Safety Council, then BSC, British Safety Council. So next we see over here the workplace safety and health guidelines, procurement in the construction industry. So that is like a safety journal, like a safety magazine. So this is the internal source of information and the external source of information. You as a health and safety practitioner, this all documents are to be referred. See, health and safety, we doesn't say a particular, like we ourselves call us as a like a practitioner. A doctor is a practitioner, like medical practitioner. A lawyer, he is also a practitioner. Okay, so same like that only. Health and safety is like a industry where we practice daily. Our work is like a practicing. We understand a lot of knowledges in our like day-to-day experiences that we go through, and we learn lot of things. So that goes on. Now we go to the next topic, that is 1.2. Define roles and allocate duties to various groups. So the employer, we had seen this before. It is like a person or an organization that employs people. Not normally a natural person, instead they are legal person and exist in legal sense only. Can be an organization such as company, sometimes referred as corporate body. Understand one thing, when there is a company, when it is an industry, when it becomes a company, just think if there is a CEO, there is like the directors, and there are people who are working below them. If any accident, any disaster, anything happens, complete responsibility doesn't goes to the owner or like a particular like members. If they have done their work, then they are like okay, they are safe. So company is not one person. In a company, there are like roles and responsibilities assigned to each and every person. So if anyone fails, then they are legally responsible, they are legally liable for that. If the CEO has done his work proper, if the like board members, the directors, they had done their work proper, but a worker has not done his responsibility and roles and has not fulfilled it and has led to an accident and all these things, so he is liable over there. If it is a project manager, then he is liable. If it was a GM, then he is liable. So there are roles and responsibilities given to each and every person. So if they have not fulfilled it, then they are like responsible for that. So we know in countries there are people who like do financial frauds in the from through the channel of banks and everything, and they flew from the country, or like they abscond from the country, facing like the legal issues. They like like flee from the country. So here sometimes what happens is they might not be the responsible person over there. They might have done their work properly. It could have been the fault of the people who are working below, so they are like responsible over there, and the liability goes to them. In the case of Bhopal gas tragedy also, the concerned person has visited India after some days of this accident, and he was arrested. Mr. Anderson, he was arrested by the Bhopal like police over there, and within minutes or hours he got bail, and afterwards he gone to his place in America, and later he has not returned till date. Till now he's actually dead now. So see, understand, a company has given roles and responsibilities to each and every person. So there are these roles and responsibilities, and everyone from the top till the bottom, everyone should have to do their roles and responsibilities and make sure it is done properly. If not, they invite the legal liability towards them. So every employer has the responsibilities that they should have to ensure health and safety of the workers, which means to provide PPs, to provide the required trainings, to provide all the things that is required. The basic principles is to be followed. And also make sure that even though, the second point we're discussing, even though the employer in his particular site, it could not be his direct employees, but the people like the contractors or the subcontractors also, he should have to make sure that health and safety is also being practiced for them. He is liable to give them the required PPs or whatever like safety environment, safe environment towards these particular people also. Third, workers who are not employees but may be affected by the employer's work activities. Now just think, there is a construction site, so it has a tower crane, and next to there, in the neighboring side only, there is a different industry. Just think it is like a construction industry only, two construction industry, but both are different. So when from here this tower crane was moving towards that particular area, that particular other construction place, and this crane had loosed its like weight or the material that was lifting, and has fallen on a worker and he is injured. So here the employer has the responsibility that if any activities that they were doing or commencing and which has led to an accident to other like employer's employee, then he have the commitment to look after the health and safety and the concerns and the medical treatments and everything to be followed, to be done. So that also he has a duty to be followed. People who might be in their workplace but not working on their behalf. So these are like the, which means people who might be in their workplace but not working on their behalf. Just think the employer in his site, there are some people over there, but they are not working on their behalf, which means they are not working for the employer. So that could be the visitors. Now the visitors could be suppliers, which means in his, it could be a factory, it could be an industry, it could be a construction site. He could require materials. If it is a construction industry, think like tiles, paints, cement, aggregate, steel, all these things is required. So it could be a supplier that could visit. Sometimes it could be a government enforcement agency, safety inspectors, or all these people, they can visit. So all such people can visit. So they are like visitors. So these people should also have to be following health and safety, and the employer should have a duty to make sure this is been followed. Now, people who might be outside the workplace but are affected by their work activities, such as members of public. Now, they are doing a work that should never have to affect the public. Just think the site, construction site, and all this. There are people like this trespassing and everything. Now, trespassing, which means just think the company, the employer has got a new site, and in the middle of the site there is a temple, or it could be like a religious place over there. And there, as per law, there could be uh, no action that can stop the people from coming or going. There are special permissions that the public can visit. So in such a condition that happens, here still the employer should have the responsibility, and he should have to follow his duty, that this public that is coming or entering or trespassing his particular site to visit such that a religious place in which the law says should not be stopped, or gives some special permissions to visit. Here he should have to make sure that these people are safe from any harm that shall cause them due to his work activities, by putting barricades, by putting safety warning signs, by putting notices, by putting caution signs, and all those things. He should have to make sure, the employer. So these are all the employer's responsibilities that is there. So they should be followed. Now we see the organizational structure. We can see how it is like the organizational structure. In up we can see the managing director, that is the MD. We can see below him there are directors, 3 directors. Below the directors we can see there are 4 managers, and below that we can see there are like around 5 supervisors. So here, this is how the organizational structure is there. This is a basic structure. Depending on the industry, if it could be a big industry, then the quantity will be more. Depending on the industry's policies and everything, it depends. So we can see like the top tier management, or the top level management, and we can see the middle management. So we will see how the working is over next. So duties of directors and senior managers. Here we can see that the directors and senior management that come in the top management. First, it is said that they rarely involved in the day-to-day management of the operational side of their organization. They involve in setting strategy and allocating resources. So the responsibility is to ensure that. See, these are the people who are not working in the site. or in the work locations. They make strategies, which means they like have the plans, and they make the structure that how the work is to be completed in what time, for that what resources are required, what budget is required, how many manpower is required, how many contractors are required, and how many resources and all these things is required, how many staff is required, how many competent person is required, how many safety officers are required, how many health and safety practitioners are required. So all these things, they does this operational side, or the management work of doing strategy, setting strategy, and allocating resources. So this is their main responsibility. So we can understand that they are not in the ground work. Like they could be in the head office, in the corporate office. So these are people who are like the directors, CEO, MDs. Okay. Second thing, implement a proportionate health and safety policy suitable for their business. This point is very important, that is to be noted. Implement a proportionate health and safety policy suitable for their business. Every company, there are a lot of companies, small, big, medium, large, multinational companies, a lot of companies are there. Some follow health and safety, some doesn't follow, 0% they follow health and safety. Some do the best practices, everything. So the first level of a company to start with a health and safety practice is by bringing or implementing a health and safety policy. Now, a health and safety a policy is like it is like a formal message, a formal document, a formal implementation to like uh, follow a health and safety practice to everyone, from the top level till the bottom level. Everyone should have to follow that. So it is like a message that is provided, a policy, a formal structure that is being given to everyone. So we shall see how like a health and safety policy will looks like. And see, health and safety policy, it is being made by the top level management, and they mention how they require in their industry. So depending on the industries, they can write their policy how it needs to be required and needed, and they put their name, their signature, their date, time, and everything. And every year, this policy is like reviewed, updated. Due to that, there becomes a good practice over there. So, as I said you, this policy has always been set up by from the top management people. It's very simple. In a kingdom, if there is a king and the king gives an order, so that becomes a law, and it is been followed by each and every person over there. In that particular kingdom, the all the people follows it. Even from another country, a person comes over there, he is also abide or to follow that particular policy or that law. Now here I shown you an example of a king and his kingdom. So same like that only in an industry, when from the top management, CEO or senior level of people, the top management, they gives a policy. What happens is gradually and simultaneously this is completely been followed throughout the industries from the top till the bottom, everyone. So that is the third is ensure adequate resources for are allocated for health and safety. That means now policy is like a paper that is legally there. Enforcement can also be made, but we should have the resources. We should have materials like the PPEs. We should have helmets, goggles, safety shoes, safety jackets, safety belts, and followingly all the like as per the budget or as per like yearly planning, what all like resources we require, all material we require, equipments we require. So that should be made available, and that should be also been made sure by this particular top management people. So next, that is establish suitable organizational structure with well-defined roles and responsibilities. To each and every person, the roles and responsibilities should be properly made understandable to them. That a safety officer's responsibility in this particular industry is like this. We, you are required to comply with all this roles and responsibilities. For a project manager, what all are to be followed? For a general manager, like this. This is your like roles and this is your responsibilities that is to be followed. If it could be an engineer, if it could be a senior engineer, so everyone has the roles and responsibilities in health and safety that needs to be conveyed and made them understood. Okay, this is how a policy shall look like, a health and safety policy. Here you can see they say their commitment like we want to follow a good level of health and safety. No harm, no accidents, no injury should be been faced by our workers, our staff, and everything. So they mention everything, their commitment, their policy, everything is like put over here. Their objective, their like aim, everything is been put. The last you can see over there, the date and time. Sorry, the date is mentioned over there properly, and also the person who has signed his post. You can see that is a CEO, Chief Executive Officer. That is from the top management. The second document also you can see over here, that is a CEO, Chief Executive Officer. The first document is of Shell, second is of BP and Geo. Now you can see over here of Tata Safety and Health Policy. Here also you can see date, place, and the group chairman's been signing the document. The next document you can see Larsen and Tobro. There also CEO has signed. Date is provided. So this is how a health and safety policy will look like. You can look your own company's health and safety policy, what is been mentioned over there. And every industry will have a different health and safety policy, as because their industries are different, their workplace is different, their working conditions are different, their financial like estimations, budgets, and all these things are different. So hence why what happens is, as per their company's scope and everything, they make their policy and implement in the industry. So this is also a foundation in every industry that should be there. Okay, to follow health and safety practices, see when a policy comes, it is like an order that comes from the top level management, and that is been circulated to everyone, to the workers, to the clients, to the visitors, to the people, everyone. So they themselves understand that this particular company is a very good health and safety practicing company, and if I'm a worker, if I'm like an operator, if I'm like a driver, I should have to follow the company standards, what they have mentioned, and that needs to be followed. So this is the health and safety policy. So duties of directors and senior managers. Everyone has their duties, as you can see over here. A board level health and safety champion are appointed from executive management to lead health and safety management. So from the board level, which means from the top level management, there is a person who is like a health and safety champion. It is like a post. It is like a appointed, and they should be there in the meeting, and they should make sure that every health and safety matter is been followed properly, and he should have to be in follow of all the things that is been following, and he should have to lead the team, lead the team. So what happens from the top level, there is a person who is directly connected to the matters of health and safety, Second, ensure competent health and safety professionals are appointed to meet organizations' health and safety expectations, which means there should be competent health and safety professionals. Now, what is a competent health and safety professionals? Just think, you yourself are now getting the training, learning yourself regarding health and safety, and practicing and making it into practice. You, within days or months, you're going to be like certified. You get the certificate, you become trained, you have the knowledge, you have the skills, and when you become certified, that is also one stage of being competent. You get the industrial exposure from this particular lectures, and that is also one skill that you get. So that also is required to be a competent person. Then, as per the company's requirement, also, if it is like if that company requires like a fresher, then that is different. If that particular company is like a very dangerous and risky company, then their like requirement could be like a high experience. So when all these things is been done, you being certified, been having the knowledge, been having the skills and everything, you become like a competent health and safety professional. So as per the company's requirement, the top level management and the director should have to make sure that proper like a competent health and safety practitioner is been appointed, is been like posted in the industries. So they will make sure that the health and safety is being followed in a good expectation standards. Remember one thing, appointing health and safety professionals in the industry is as per the national law only. So in each and every national law, there is this law that health and safety professionals or like the safety officer, they are to be appointed. And the figures are also there. And depending on the industries also, the risk, the dangers and everything, the projects, if it is a government project, if it is like a if it is like from the contractor, they have such requirements, then followingly it is there. So as per the legal status only, the health and safety practitioners are working in the industries. Then clearly demonstrate organizations' health and safety responsibilities to third parties and effective management of contractors. Which means, even though the third party peoples, the contractors, the subcontractors, everyone should, the company should have to demonstrate, the director should have to make sure that they should have to follow the health and safety properly. Last, ensure regular health and safety performance reviews. Now see, safety is a thing. It's like it's like, see, the in the organization, it's like in safety you have documents, you have some trainings, you have some procedures, you have all these things. So what happens is, as we seen this thing only, this documents, see, if this document is in 2017, you can see over here 2021, this should be reviewed, which means in simple words to understand for you, update. Why I will say you, see, today how the working happens is not like after 1 year what it could be the condition. There is some change over there that happens. It could be the change in the staff, management, or the machineries, or the workplace, or such conditions. Which means when such change happens, the policy that we had made at that time will become outdated, or like is not been that much effective. In such conditions, we should have to make sure that review is being done. So not only for policy, but for every health and safety documents, our work, training, conditions, and all these things, we should have to make sure that there is some reviews being done. So what will that do? Safety is a continuity process. Safety is not that we do like a work, we had like made some documents and we do it daily, that should be followed for yearly. No, not like that. That is like a continuity, like a cycles chain that rotates continuously. The continuity happens, it has been followed, follow up, so that goes on like that. There is a continuity process that needs to maintain, and when you put that continuity process, continual improvement happens over there simultaneously. Now the duties of middle managers and supervisors. See, these are the people who are there in the day-to-day operations that happen in the site organization. So when they do their operations, they should have to make sure health and safety standards and practice is being followed, and also have to do control. Line managers will be operational responsible for the health and safety of the staff that work directly for them, staff lower down in the organizational chart, the areas and activities under their control. So it's very simple. The middle managers, they do that day-to-day operations, and hence by they should have to make sure health and safety is being followed. Do the work with health and safety, which means let the team do their production work but with health and safety. It's like a principle. Do any work but with safety. You do the work. So that particular practice needs to be understood and being practiced by them. Now, duties of safety team. It is extremely important that an organization's safety team member speaks the same language regarding safety. There are some duties that has been mentioned. Focus on learning from failures, near misses, positive work experience, and observation. That means you should have to learn and make improvements. Today, the multinational companies or the big companies that have the best health and safety practice was not due to one person's knowledge or his only work. No, it is like a teamwork, and in that teamwork there will be definitely failures, there will be definitely accidents, incidents, and poor practices that led to accidents, and leading to good amount of good safety culture and practice being followed in the future. So all these things comes in that. So wherever industries you work, you should have to make sure that there are positive uh, progress that happens day by day. Second, be committed to the role that you do. Third, communicate effectively. Communication is very important. That means your communication should have to reach to the workers, to the management, to the operations divisions, to the each and every person that requires. Then you have embrace consistency, be understanding and tolerant, have patience, follow through. So these are all things, a quality that has been required inside a health and safety practitioner. So next we can see, now here this is made to make you understand the duties a health and safety should have to, a practitioner should have to follow. So it can be seen like duties of a safety officer. Things done every day on site. So I will just go in short. First, conduct site safety inspection. That means wherever industry you work, visit entirely, take a round, see visually what all things there is any issue, there is any hazard, there is any danger, just make like a morning visit in your industry. Check PP usage. See that everyone has their PPs or everyone wearing that, and also make sure that the safety shoes that they wear are it of good quality. Like, does it have that steel protection and everything? Is the helmets of good quality? Is it of ISO? Is it standard? Make sure all those things. Identify hazards and unsafe acts. Identify hazards and unsafe acts, which means you should have to see like what all hazards are present over there, and what all unsafe acts or practice has been followed by anyone, any workers or any person that needs to be identified. Conduct toolbox talks. It is also known as TBT. Now I remember like a incident that has happened. I was working in a particular industry, and there was a person. He was a new safety officer. So in the industry, when he came, he was very new. Surprisingly, the thing is that there are some colleges or institutes that provide uh, like safety certificates in like 7 days, 14 days, such short term like courses that they do, crash courses and all those things. So the knowledge will be also like that only. So it was a Wednesday. I had instructed him on that day. Actually, weekly TBT happens. So I will explain what is TBT. So I had said to him that go and take TBT, and he was new. Like I think some 2 to 3 days has happened in the industry. So he again asked me, sir, what I have to do? I said, go and take TBT, toolbox talk. Again, he was a little confused. His face was confused, and later again he asked me. So I said him, TBT, toolbox talk. Okay, take the documents and go and do the TBT in that particular place. I instructed him. That unit you go, that electrical room, you go and take TBT over there. Later the workers will come, join at that time, you take it. So he had gone to another uh, other assistant staff, and all the workers came over there. Later we also came over there. So he was not starting, he was confused, and we safety people were there, and he was there in the forward. So later he asked to me, sir, which tool should I have to talk about? Then I got confused. Then I asked him again, what do you mean? No, sir, you said me to do the toolbox talk. Like, what tool from the box? From the box, which tool should I have to take, and which talk should I, or like what should I have to talk on there? He was saying like this, toolbox talk. So it is not surprising. Now I will say to you, there are a lot of such type of short courses, crash courses in safety and everything that happens. Also in fire and safety, advanced diploma in fire and safety. There are some genuine institutes that do 1 year courses. But this all courses that has been done in like 7 days or like in uh, 14 days and everything, that is not practical to make clear every concepts in that. But in the certificates, the training time is given different, like 1 year, 6 months or something like that. And such candidates are not competent. They shall take a lot of time, and that is like a risk to the industry. So competence is very important, and I had found that like In everything that we say that he's always confused. Now, why I am saying you this is, while you people will be working as a health and safety practitioner in the industry, not only safety officer is going to come. There are a lot of people that will be like electricians, that will be drivers, that will be operators, and all these people are there. Some people are also same like they work in a license, they work in a certifications, they work in such trainings and everything, skill based trainings and all these things happens. You should have to make sure that they are competent properly, been trained properly and everything. Why? Question will come. You are working in a construction industry or in a shipyard or in a dockyard. Just think, in that particular place there is a tower crane. The operator, he is not competent, or he has not gone through a good training. He only just have some certification, that's it. No experience, nothing, but he has claimed that he has experience and everything. Now he is like operating the machine, and a person was like moving from that particular area, and by see, there are like passages, but a worker was moving, and he had taken weight that has exceeded. He was not knowing the graph or the chart, like how much weight is to be followed, taken and everything. Leading to that, he had taken to an extent in which the weight cannot be handled by the tower crane, and like it got collapsed and fall, also resulting injury to the worker. Now just think, if the worker was you, then, which means like the safety officer himself is injured. Why? Because the crane operator was not competent. Didn't the HR look into that, his competency? HR's duty is right, but at the same time it is also the safety person's duty that in his site, whatever such like work activities happen, such risky work activities, you can re-verify the like operator is like a competent person, he has a good experience, he has good skills and everything, so that should be verified. Okay, so that is also one thing that needs to be followed. Then you have the monitor work permits, PTW. It is like a authorization document. Any work to do, permit to work is to be like a document is that it should be done. So safety officers actually give permissions. A request is been done from the departments, from the production. We check, we inspect, we give suggestions to follow health and safety practices, and later if everything is safe, we give the permission for them to the work. Okay, and it also serves or like has that will give you the like who has authorized the work, who has like been doing the work, or like who is responsible for that work, everything or data is there in that. So that is PTW. Then you have the safe work procedures, you should have to verify it is followed. Then you should have to investigate near miss and minor incidents. If anything happens like that, you should have to do that. You know what is near miss, so when such thing happens, you should have to investigate. Then you should have to guide the workers on doing safe practices. You have to coordinate with the supervisors and managers. Why? Because they are doing the production, and they get the plan like what all new things needs to be done. So you should have to make sure you are also updated with that knowledge. Maintain daily safety observation records. If you are a safety officer currently working anywhere, or is going to start this career, make sure that everything daily activities is being recorded and written in a like a in a record book that can be called as like a daily safety observation report or record book or records. So what happens is everything is being recorded over there, and it is like a legal sort of document that happens. If tomorrow anything happens, so you can show this. Such like a security in your site was being said to wear the safety helmet, but he has not wear, and he was going in a place in a construction ongoing unit over there, and from there a material has fallen in his head, leading to an injury. So here, if you have instructed them, you can you can write all these things in that. The instructions were given to the security, like a security officer or like the security guard to wear such type of things, but he has not weared. Also, instructions was being given to the contractor or the agency regarding this condition, but no actions came over there. And if tomorrow anyone says to you that the safety person, have you looked into this matter, you can show that instructions and communications was been already provided, but it is a failure of the contractor. So this will help you. It helps all these things. Why? Because if the agency will claim that we need compensation while we are working in industry, this accident has happened due to your fault, then you can say these things. So such type of things will help. This is one example. There are thousands of things that happens. Hence, by make sure documentation is very important. What is documentation? Remember one thing. Anything that is not documented, that means it has not happened. See, as per the industry or like as per the law, in the court we say, if there is evidence, then that is accepted. If there is no evidence, then that cannot be concluded. You should have to prove it. So to prove anything, to prove a thing that you have done, to prove a thing that is there, you have to document it. Which means, just think, if a firefighting drill, a firefighting training is being taken by you. Now, what you should have to do is you should have to record this thing. It can be photographs. It can be like a note that can mention all these things. You can mention the participants and all these things. So that becomes a documented thing over there. And if tomorrow an investigation happens, like an inspection happens or an audit happens, safety audits and everything, you can show this document that we have done this thing. Documentation is very important in the safety industry and for the health and safety practitioners. Everything is to be documented. We are helping the industry, we are helping the workers, we are handling a responsible position, we are also supporting the government. Always remember this thing. In case of any catastrophic things that happens in the industry, we are responsible to provide the documentations to the required and concerned authorities. So make sure documenting each and everything is very important. So that should have to happen. Then there are some weekly duties such site safety inspections that could be for the vehicles, it could be for any electrical connections and all those things. So you can make some special site safety inspection weekly. Okay. Then you can have the safety meetings in which you can give your opinions, share your issues and everything, your suggestions and everything in that safety meeting with everyone, the complete team that is working. In that team, there will be departments like the project manager, he will be there. There will be the P&M, that will be the plant and machinery. There could be like maintenance engineer. There could be quality engineer. All people will come over there. So you can have the meeting over there. That HR will also be there. So every staff should be there in the safety meeting, and you can like discuss regarding all the issues, suggestions, activities, programs, and all these things that you want to do, conclude, and all these things. Next, you have check fire extinguishers and emergency equipment. So that is in a checklist, you can record all these things. Fire extinguisher and emergency equipment, the modules will come in the forward lessons, so we can check later. Review permit to work system. See, in industry, any work that happens is to be recorded, and for that permit is there. As we said, work permit. So in an industry, the work permits for like it could be like around like 100 or 110, 150, 200. That much amount of work permits will be given, which means that much amount of different work is going. Example, it could be like painting, it could be like chipping, blasting, it could be like loading, unloading. There could be work like hot work, gas cutting, welding, all different types of work might be going over there. Excavation work will be going over there. Electrical isolation work will be going over there. So all this work is going. Every work is to be recorded by the permit to work system. So document. I shall show that later in the lecture. Then you should have to monitor housekeeping standards in your industry. That should be like good housekeeping that is being maintained in the industry. Just think, you have a storeroom. Store comes under the department of the store manager, and in that particular store there are like in the entrance only, in the walkway only, a lot of like diesel pipelines and all electrical wires and everything. So completely congested it has been made over there. Some flammable materials and all these things are there. So just think, a short circuit happens, a fire happens in that particular store in which there are a lot of like flammable materials and all these things being stored. So that will lead to a major accident over there. And all these things has been in the below that has been there in the walkways, that will create a lot of dangers in an emergency situation and condition. Hence by you should have to make sure in industries housekeeping should be in a good standard that is to be followed. Then do the corrective actions as per safety rules. Then you have monthly duties that could be like regular management and review tasks. There are safety audits that happens. There are some internal audits and external audits. So what happens is normally it's like one sort of a third party or like internal audit happens, which means it is improving. There are some suggestions, there are some improvements that needs to be done. So safety audit is done. You have accidents and near miss statistics, you can identify that. Like conduct safety committee meeting, that can be done in monthly. Also safety committee meeting, that will be like staff, workers and management persons and everything, you can do that meeting. Then inspect lifting equipment and machineries. So these things you can do monthly, like there could be cranes and there could be machineries and all these things. So you can do the inspections by taking the concerned engineer also, which could be the, if it is machinery then there is P&M, that is plant and machinery engineer, you can take them. If lifting equipment also comes under him, that is a crane tower and everything, so you can contact him and take accompanied with him, you can check all these things. So he is a competent person, he will bring his helper, worker, and they will check it, or engineer. Review risk assessment. So as I said, continuous process review. Conduct safety training programs. So in training programs, there are a lot of trainings that happens in industries should be taken to the workers, hence by they have a good knowledge. That could be like firefighting, it could be first aid training, it could be LPG training, like how safely you can manage it in case of fire and all those things. Firefighting trainings and all those things are there, so you can provide all those things to them. See, workers are the people who are exposed to dangers or exposed to work. They are exposed to work and they are exposed to danger. Equally, they have the risk over there. So they are the people who most encounter the dangers or the starting level of any dangers or accidents that happens. Just think, a worker is working in an industry and there a short circuit happens, so he is there over there. But a safety officer or any person, he could be in the rounds or anywhere. There are workers everywhere. So you train them then they shall fight that particular concern or dangers, and that will be beneficial. So hence by training is very important to all these workers. Then last you have periodic yearly duties. So as I said, you review health and safety policy yearly, conduct emergency drills, update risk assessment, develop annual safety plans. So annual safety plan is something that this year, from the beginning till the end of this year, what all activities, what all plans I am going to do in health and safety work. This everything should be planned. You should have a plan, all the targets, achievements that need to be followed. For your knowledge, I will see you. There is the National Safety Week in March. That starts from 4th. So the National Safety Week is been celebrated. You can like make a plans like what all is to be done at this particular time, what all activities is to be done, what all programs are to be conducted, what can we do in that to motivate the workers. So all these plannings can be done. This is one just like 1 week I had said you 1 week plan. So rest like the year completely what all activities is to be performed, you can do that. So planning, see, a good health and safety practitioner and experienced person, he will have the plannings properly, what is to be conducted and everything. So conduct full safety audit, yes. Plan training programs for workers and all these things. So last you can see a safety officer's job is to identify hazards, yes, prevent accidents, train the workers, and continuously improve safety performance in the workplace. So this continuous process should be maintained. So these are the duties of safety officer. See, these are not only the duties of safety officer. There are a lot of things, but these are the basic things that needs to be done. The shared responsibilities of joint occupiers of premises. What does this mean? See, if there is a very big industry in which a lot of companies are working in that, different companies are working in that. So at that particular big industry, these companies are working. So they have like a joint occupiers responsibility, which means they have a responsibility. They should have to work together for health and safety thing, health and safety like to achieve health and safety practices being followed. So they should have to develop like health and safety standards, policies, and procedures in that particular place. Even combined like meetings should have to make, in which they should have to share the data with each other, such like risk assessment matrix and everything. And this meeting should be taken, joint management meeting should be taken between them. Just think if it could be like a very big industry, that will be construction. So in that there are like around 5 to 7 like companies over there, employers. So they are working over there, they have their like health and safety system and everything. So when they work, there should be this joint occupiers. They have their like responsibility that a meeting should be taken in which health and safety matters, not business matters. Health and safety matters. The policies, procedures, standards, and everything. They should have to make a joint meetings, joint management meetings, and everything, and should have to make sure the health and safety is followed in a good standard. So in such conditions, they should have to do this. Now, what all it could be like? Common approach can be developed for the management of joint issues such as such issues like fire procedures, in which fire trainings, firefightings, and all this is to be taken. Then they can do it jointly. See, in that industry, as I said you, the 7 or 8 like type of company that has been coming to work over there. Every company has their business, or sometimes it could be competitors and all these things. But regarding health and safety, they should have one vision, because if an accident happens to of the one of the company's employee, it will affect everyone. Sometimes the particular site can be stopped, and all these things happen. So losses happen to everyone. So this is a common interest of all the 8 companies, or like whatever, as I said you, it is a common interest health and safety practice in which none of them have any losses. Everyone has a profits, and hence why this thing needs to be followed. Second is security threat response. Third is emergency spill response. This needs to be followed. Like fourth is site rules, visitors and contractors control. See, when anyone enters, comes, visitors, and all these things, it should be maintained properly. Traffic management, site-wide inspection processes. So all the vehicles and everything, it needs to be like monitored properly. Common fire drills and waste disposal procedures. Drills and fire drills, everything needs to be done, and also the waste disposal. If they are creating lot of waste and everything, so that needs to be disposed in proper methods. If it is biomedical, then it needs to be done as per law. If it is like scrap and all these things, that also needs to be handled properly. If it is like sewage treatment, sewage and all these things, so that also needs to be looked into the matter. Now you can see this thing. So you can see over here. So this is like a chart in which each and everyone's like basic work we say over here. The first you can see, that is the first you can see over here, that is the executive management, in which two things are said, that is care and culture. That means they should have to care their workers. Now the executive management, that is like the top management people, they should have to care their workers like everyone, staff and everyone, and hence by and hence by they should have to make sure that everyone's like health and safety is being followed properly. So there should be like good care for the workers. And regarding culture, see, now care, understand one more thing. The executive management, these people should have like a emotions, which means they should have to care their workers. They should have this moral obligation and the sort of caring mind to their workers. So once it is there, then they shall do all the benefits and all the good welfare to these people, to the people that they work, that works under them. Care is important. In the culture, it is like when they show like a good health and safety culture, which means practice being followed, that motivates the people who are working under them, and everyone shall follow it. Just think, there is a site, a company, and a CEO, he is having like around 15-20 sites, big sites, and this CEO is visiting his one of his site, and he makes sure that before the gate itself he has wear the helmet, he has wear the safety jacket, he has wear the safety shoes, and is following complete health and safety practices. What happens is that will motivate every people from the bottom till the top, that he is wearing this thing and we everyone should have to follow that. So this culture, when they do, it creates a big impact. So the executive management should have to make sure it is followed. Now coming to the operations management, it is said evaluate, ensure, engage, enforce. So in evaluate, while they work, they should have to make sure like what all risks are there, what all safety performances need to be improved, and what all working conditions are there. They should have to evaluate this, understand this. And in ensure, they should have to make sure that safety rules and all the controls are implemented over there. That needs to be followed. And in the engage, they should have to make sure in the below what all workers are working under the operations management. This worker should also be engaged in the safety activities and in the safety meetings or regarding safety matters. That could be drills, trainings, all these things. Engagement should have to happen. There should be participation of these people in safety programs, safety discussions, participations. Everything is required for that. Workers are not only completely meant for work, earn, no. Safety participation and all these things, administrative work is required over there for compliances. Now, enforce, that means the same operations management should have to make sure that the people or the workers who are working under them are following complete health and safety practice. If not, they shall enforce action against them. Now, enforce actions, that says safety rules should be implemented, followed strictly. If not, they can take actions depending on the company's policy or the condition. Just think if there is a worker who is not following health and safety practices, not abiding the health and safety practices and the company policy. After giving several instructions, he is not following, then he can be terminated from that particular industry. Such enforcement actions are required. If not, any accident happens tomorrow in which a danger happens, the company should have to face it. And there is a responsibility, so that needs to be done. Now, for the safety personnel, that is C, say, support, safety, leader, creed. That means like observe the hazards and like the unsafe situations in the industry. By saying, you should have to identify all those things. Say, which means communication, that shows like report or speak about safety issues that happens. You should have to discuss with the workers, to the management and everything. So say, speak regarding that, report regarding that. Support, which means you should have to help the workers and management improve health and safety. The support that the workers require from you and like the management to improve health and safety, you should have to support them. Example, I had said you one case like the dengue conditions rising in the particular workplace, that is like affecting the laborers and they are like absent, their absence is increasing. Here the condition is worse. The worker are also coming to the industry to earn some money, and while they are in like facing such issues, so that affects them. In such conditions, the workers will demand help from you. Demand help from you, which means they will ask you like there are this like unhygiene conditions in the labor camp that is causing such uh, dengue condition, and hence by if that has been cleared, then this case will become less. So when they shows you the potential threat that from like where this is coming, you can take action by clearing all these things from the helper, from the worker and everything, or from the institutions, or like from the control like pest control and mosquito control and all these things, fogging machines and everything is there. This setup is been followed. This will this support from them and the support from you will make sure that a good health and safety is been followed. Or else, if not done, if not followed, if not supported, the same dengue condition can happen to the any person working in the industry. That will be not only workers, it could be for the staff, it could be for the visitors. Everyone will affect from that. Hence why this should be made sure. Then you, yeah, that's it. Then for the workers, that says determine, decide, do. That is, they should have to determine that what is the safest way that can be done. They does the work. Workers who are experienced, like they have like their uh, sort of skills, talents, and everything in working. So they should also have the talent and skills, like how work can be made safely, how it can be done safely. And before doing or starting any work, they should have to choose only safe actions to work. Which means if anyone says that just do the work immediately and they go uh, and leading to that an injury happens or an accident happens, so such things should not have to happen. They should have to decide properly and do the work as per the safe procedures, safe working procedures they should have to do. So these are the executive management, operations management, safety personnel, and the workers, like basic principles or like basic work that they should have to perform. Now we go for 1.3. We need to understand like what is a contractor, what is a client. See, a person or organization engaged to undertake certain work on behalf of a client, but not under the client's direct supervision and control. Note that the word contractor can be used to indicate both the company providing a contract service and the individual workers who work to provide that service. Client, a person or organization who engages a contractor. Just think, in India, there is this authority, that is National Highways, NHAI, government. So they have the like plans and everything to make highways, roads, bridges, and everything. So this is a client who has a like work, like a tender. They have a like particular like project. Now this project to be done, they require contractors who has machineries, equipments, manpower, staff, competent persons, and all these things, administrations, and all these things they have. That becomes a contractor. So the client gives the work to the contractor. Just think, the company name is Sharon Industries Private Limited, SIPL, who like does the work in like construction, bridges, and everything. They have the experience and all. The client checks the contractor's compatibility, safety documents, and all the other required documents and everything. And once they like they feel that this company is good and they have their experience and all these things, so they have a good like safety practices and no accidents data and all these things. So they are satisfied. The client gives the work to the contractor as per the procedures whatever it is there. So this is the contractor. Now the contractor, if they are working in a specific like place and they require workers, they can take workers locally. They can give sub work, that will be subcontractors. So the subcontractors now join the contractor. See here, contractors can be called to this SIPL, Sharon Industries Private Limited. At the same time, the local contractor who has come, he can also be called as contractor. Both are like one sort of contractor only. To the client, he can call the SIPL as contractor, and the uh, other company locally providing, he can call them subcontractors. Technically, both are contractors only. Now there is other one more thing that can be said as like the PMC, that is a project management consultant or consultant. What happens is client to make sure that the contractor does each and every work properly, maintaining, following safety and also quality and everything, and each and every steps to note, note. There are like the clients appoint the consultant because the client cannot, if they are not unable to visit the site every time, like make sure check every work is been followed like properly. There is no compromise in quality of the materials being used. There is no compromise in the public safety, in which any accident that could happen or lead to uh, public safety affecting. So the client can put a like a third party or like a PMC, project management consultant, who shall guide, give responses, give suggestions, and all these things to the contractor, and shall also report everything to the client. So these things goes on. So the contractor shall not perform anything wrong, and if been performed anything wrong, the PMC or the consultant shall report or like advise to the contractor before, and if still not been followed, it shall be reported to the client, in which the client shall give strict warnings to the contractor, and if required, take procedures and actions against them. So these are like the contractor, the client, the consultant, and all those things, the subcontractor, and all those things. So this needs to be understand the definitions. Now we go to the contractor management. Both client and contractor have the responsibilities to protect their own workers and the one who affected by their work. So this we had seen before also. The way that a client manages contractor can be broken down into three key areas. That is selection of contractors. See, as I said you, when a client, now you have understood what is a client, so any of the client. So when a client wants to choose a contractor to do their work, the client could have a lot of work, and every time one contractor cannot do it. So the client shall have a lot of contractors. Now here, selection matters of the contractor, in which the client should have to verify that they have a good amount of experience for doing that work. They have trained workers and safety records. So selection matters, which means just think again an example. A scaffolding work is to be done in an industry. So when if you are to choose or if you are to select the contractors, you should have to check like, do they have the scaffolding course, or like are they certified scaffolders, all these things. So that needs to be followed. Selection is important. So selection, there are a lot of factors: experience, safety practices, and all these things can be done. Capture all mandatory documentations. See, you should have to make sure that this particular contractors, they have the insurance, the workers training certificate, risk assessment, and all the method statements and everything. There was a instance that has happened, I remember. There was a company in which there was a contractor. So his worker was injured, met with an accident, and he was required to be shifted to a good hospital and everything. He had actually submitted some of the documents in which the documentation verification team had left the insurance sort of document. The contractor has the subcontractor should have like a worker like the licenses and everything, and also the insurance, group insurance, medical insurance for the workers and everything. But he had not taken that. And after this accident has happened, I called him. What happens is when a lot of documents come, we ask them. They say yes, yeah, all the documents are there. But at that time, this document was not there with him. And on that day, when I asked him that like go for the claim and all these activities to the workers and everything, and then he's saying that I don't have group insurance. I don't have group insurance like for this thing. I was surprised. I asked him that you definitely shall have provided all the required documents and all these things to the head office, and then only you have been appointed. Then he said his condition that the work was like little sort of like urgent work that was required to be done, and my appointment or like my contract or my job scope, the work scope and everything, job order, work order, everything came like fast. It was an emergency work. I said okay, it's okay. What about your labor license? He said I don't even have that also. I asked him then how shall or how can you work? How can you work in the industry? But you have it's not like you have like around some 5 or 10 members or something like that. That can be accepted sometimes, but you have around uh, around 10 to 17 sites already he have in one state itself only, and you have this much amount of number, and more than like 400 plus workers he had it. How can you not have such type of documents and all those things? Understand here. In such conditions, the company is also liable. First thing, the company has failed to check their documents. They thought they had it, like they had the documents in that, but there was no such things. He to just bypass, he had said normally yes, yes, I have all these things and everything. Uh, the committee or the verification team has not like properly he has bypassed it and has not been followed. Your company will face the issue. This particular person who doesn't have the license, group insurance and all these things, he shall also face the issue, and also the management team and everyone will face the issues like that. Hence, while you take the documentations, make sure all these things are there properly. That is required. Then the site induction and coordination of the work. Safety induction should be provided, which means regarding the site where they are working, it could be worker, it could be client, it could be visitors, it could be any person that comes. Regarding the site, all information should be provided to them. That could be safety, that could be the complete layout, and all things should be said. Safety induction, we shall take a topic that is coming later in the lessons, so in the module, so we will look later. Then coordination of the work, everything should be maintained. Monitoring and managing the work, that means we should have to make sure that the contractor, whoever is working, are they following the health and safety as per our policy and our guidelines and like said things, are they working or not? Are they following our rules? Which means just think if they are like a scaffolding work they are doing, a contractor. So we as a safety officer should have to go over there and check the scaffoldings. Are they doing it properly? Is everything okay? Are they working as per standard operating procedures, good safety practices? Or are they working in such a way that they don't have a good experience in that? There is no quality, proper like safety procedures are not being followed, and all these things. So you should have to monitor all these things of the contractor. So this all things are needed to be done. For selection of contractors, it is a good practice to select a contractor carefully on the basis of their health and safety competence. It can be verified by, as I said, you health and safety policy should be there, even of the contractors. Like if it is there, we can understand that they have like a good practice. A review is done or not. See, all the good companies they do review in 1 year, and it is basic to be done. Risk assessment. Do they have method safety, method statements, safe system of work, SSOW, accident records? You should have to check how many accidents happened and all these things data. Enforcement actions recorded, and all these things need to be followed. Then assess the worker's competency. You should have to check the qualification proofs, training records, and all these things of the contractor and his staff, whatever he has. Like his staff, there could be even safety officer in his staff, so his competence, everything needs to be looked. Reference checking by understanding their previous clients. So this particular contractor, he was working in his last place. We should have to check the client which he was working and how his work was. We can just understand, check, and all those things. So we can also check the equipments and their machineries, their all these things, safety certificates, third-party inspection certificates, and we can examine their like maintenance records, testing, calibration, inspection. All this can be done of their particular machineries and all these things, equipments, and we can make sure that all the systems are good of there. Because if any machinery that is brought and is not like inspection maintenance is not done and which leads to any accident, so that can cause such type of danger, that needs to be verified. Then we should have to check that do they have any membership. What is membership? I'll say you. In professional organizations or in professional uh, like work, like even in safety, there are membership. Example, there is IOSH, International, sorry, Institution of Occupational Standards. Sorry, IOSH, Institution of Occupational Safety and Health. So in IOSH, there are memberships. I shall give you some examples. That is like, there is Tech IOSH. There is like affiliate membership of IOSH, student membership of IOSH, Tech IOSH membership. There is CERT IOSH membership. There is CM IOSH membership. So these are all the membership that is there. So in in a status of membership, we can understand like how much competent you are. And this membership body, they like check your experience, they like check your skills and everything, and they just give this membership, your training, your qualifications, your certifications, and all those things. So we can check the contractors, like staff. It could be even a safety officer at what like If he is a CM Ayush, then they can understand that he is a very highly experienced person. So all this can be understood. We can check that also. Check to ensure whether the contractor has adequate resources. If a contractor is doing such type of work, then we should have to make sure, are the resources provided, like PPs are provided, does he have like required uh, resource to do the work over there. And if even in safety conditions, just think, there is a road project that has been doing and a lot of dust is coming. So there are like dust control by applying waters and everything, sprinkling waters and everything. So do they have that setup resources and everything to control such like dust relating to relating issues? So do they have that resources? So everything we need to make sure while we do the selection of contractors, all the safety concerns and everything. And it could be like this also. For just think, if it is a scaffolding contractor, we require a scaffolding contractor. So we should have to check that in their like in their like workers, do they have like scaffolding supervisors, scaffolding competent supervisors and everything. So that all needs to be checked. Capturing the documents, that means, so see, the examples of risk assessment and method statements, that is RAMS, RAMS. We should have to check, see the documents that they have it. Competencies, as I said, it needs to be checked, and this we should have the copy of these documents. Memberships also, we should have this documents. Like we should have it. We can verify also this membership. Record of maintenance and test for plants and equipment, this needs to be done. Accident history record should be checked. Then record of enforcement actions, if any actions was taken against them that can show that there was safety lapses, there was these issues, and it needs to be checked. Then we can check all the adequate resources they have, the proof and all such things by special safety advices and all these things. So capturing the documents, which means you can take all these documents with you and identify and make sure everything is good up there. Induction and coordination of the work, which means the client should tell contractor about the hazards and risks in the workplace, and contractors should make aware the hazards and risks associated with their work. So see, induction and coordination, which means induction is something that you should have to give the complete information of that particular workplace, that work, the design, the layout, the safety concerns, the health and safety concerns, everything, the hazards, dangers, risks, everything to the client. If he knows, he should have to give to the contractor. If the contractor knows, he should have to give to the client and the other people who comes, workers, subcontractors, everyone. So this needs to be followed, and that makes a good like good health and safety practices that goes on. Risk assessment, develop safe working methods to control the risk identified. All this thing needs to be followed, and also this data and everything needs to be submitted to the client also. Monthly reports and all those things need to be provided, so they also have the proper idea. Now induction should cover, yes, emergency procedures. That could be an emergency person's contact number, whom to be contacted, what to be done in emergency condition and all these things. Then health and safety contacts, including first aid officers and health and safety representatives, all these things. Health and safety procedures, the asbestos register where applicable, the safe use of equipment, all these things comes in the induction. This needs to be recorded and it needs to be documented and it should be covered. This thing needs to be said to the people. Coordination, the client and contractor must coordinate their work carefully so as to avoid conflicts. So see, coordination, what happens is when there is a good coordination, there is a good health and safety practice between both. So that coordination is one sort of like communication that needs to be followed and it needs to go on. Monitoring and managing the work. So we had seen this. Arrangement must be made by the client to ensure the contractor complies with safe working practices. This arrangement should include first having a signing in and out procedure. So signing in and out must be made, ensuring that the contractor provides a named work supervisor. That means there is a competent supervisor being provided to them in regards of their work, to give them suggestions, to give them work, to give them safety concerns, safety issues, and all these things. So that should be a proper person over there. Carrying out site induction training for all contractor workers. So site induction or safety induction training needs to be provided, in which, see, if it is a shipyard, the work over there is completely different, the hazard is completely different, the danger is different, the risk is different, the work is different, everything is different. Now if it is a construction industry, there also the risk, the major risk, the all the working conditions, everything is different. So depending on different sectors and industries, the risk also changes, the dangers over there is different. Hence, by understanding that, every worker should be given the safety induction training or the site induction training for them to understand that particular place risk over there that is affecting to the workers and to all. Controlling high risk activities with permit to work system. So this, the contractor should have to make sure, if he could be a contractor, if he is a subcontractor, whatever, permit to work system is being followed in the industry, in all the high risk activities that is being followed. So that is the monitoring and managing the work. Here you can see economic and reward pressures that says, if you have any target, if you have any pressure or anything, the workers or any person should not have to work in such a condition that will lead to accidents and all these things. So such pressures should not be followed and should not be made into work. Disorganization, there should be no inexperienced workers, no training given, no induction provided, no support from the there are underqualified people and all these things. It is a sort of disorganization that happens, so that needs to be checked. The regulatory failure, which means poor knowledge of legal rights, obligations. They should have to know that particular place, as I said, legislations, the laws and everything applicable over there, and all these things need to be followed. The regulatory should have to make sure, the regulatory, which means the laws, applicable things and everything, they should have to have the knowledge of that. So we should have to make sure that there is no work pressure and all such the insecurity that happens should not be there over there. The irregular things and all these things that affects the work should not be seen. The organization should also have to make sure that everything is proper, the person is qualified, the workers are trained, there is experienced workers, there is good induction being provided, training is given, supervisors are there. So all these things need to be followed. In the regulatory side also, basic knowledge of law and everything should be there for the workers, contractors and everyone, and hence by they should have to comply the legal obligations that is there. I said you regarding the contractor who didn't have the license, who didn't have the medical group insurance and all these things. So that is like a failure in him, and that needs to be identified. The organization needs to be identified by them, and also he should also have to work on that, and all these things need to be followed properly. So you can take this question: how can we manage contractor effectively at site? Why should assessing the safety culture be a part of vendor selection? You can think this and write the answers by yourself, referring the documents. Thank you. We have completed the first topic module. You can use this reference like www.hsc.gov.uk and the second website, third, and the fourth. Regarding any doubts if you have in this lecture, you could refer this. 143 slides last completed.